So this panel will explore behavioral expectations and responsibilities of students enrolled in blended learning courses. As the university expands its blended offerings, it is crucial to define clear norms that promote engagement, academic integrity, and learning effectiveness. So let's now proceed directly. So the first question I'll ask the panel to answer is, should students be required to keep their cameras on during online classes? So maybe we can hear your opinion. So should the camera be on or should it be off?
Thank you for inviting me. Frankly speaking, I must admit that, initially I wasn't a strong believer of hybrid online. Because in teaching finance, especially mathematical and quantitative courses, I used to find it very difficult to interact with the students, especially for the mathematical courses. However, two things later on led me to change my mind. One was disruptions. As you know, due to the pandemic, transportation disorder, and different other disruptions, we frequently have to move to online learning. Like this study we had. And in these cases, the alternative to online classes is again no classes, which is not. Second thing is that I came to realize that the benefits of having online teaching compared to the face-to-face teaching. Because as you know, in online or hybrid learning, we are forced to go for learning management systems such as Moodle and Google Classroom. Previously, as you see in MBA classes, we used to, as we meet on a weekly basis, we had to wait for 1 week to meet the students again for sharing the thing. So we had to plan everything very carefully so that we don't, miss those important things. Otherwise, the students will be unreachable. But having this learning management system, now we can have almost 24-hour interaction with the students, sharing materials. We can continue some discussions and go on and on. So of course, this actually led to change my mind right. Now the challenge is that we want to recreate the class. We want to have all the advantages of face-to-face classes in online classes. And how do you recreate this classroom? That is the challenge. First, in face-to-face classes, we have the total attention, total control of the students. Sometimes we say in a captive audience like that. They are listening, they are boundaries. How do you do that in online classes if the camera is not on? Second thing is that, in teaching, we always tell that, eye contact is very important. We also tell the students that while we are presenting, look for establishing eye contact. So why this eye contact is important? Because this gives a signal about your student, whether they are understanding the thing, whether you should slow the tempo of the class, whether you should give another example to make them understand. If the camera is not on, how to do that? And third, we would like to personalize teaching because we want to know the problem of the student in understanding and then accordingly, calling them in offices and giving them additional guidelines or direction or counseling. How do you do that if the camera is not on? So it goes both ways for the teacher and the student. If I'm not being able to do that, so how will you do it? So my answer to yes, we want the camera to be on.
Okay, thank you. So now let's listen to the faculty. Do you think the camera should be on or off?
Well, it's actually, I was discussing with another fellow colleague previously. I believe the camera should be on in most cases because, as sir mentioned, like eye contact or gesture is very important. Like when I'm teaching something, my expression, or I can see the expression of my students, and that moment I can understand that, okay, they are understanding the topic or not, or should I repeat this topic and again or not. So from that point of view, camera should keep on. However, from my personal experience, I have seen some students saying, yes, hello. So in some cases, I have seen some students, like they were saying, Miss, I'm at home, I cannot, keep on. Or like sometimes they're traveling, so in that case they're in a bus or something, so they cannot turn on that camera. So from that point of view, there should be a clear guideline that whenever it's online class, you should keep your camera on, and therefore you should be in a space where you can do that, or you can use virtual background so that it's convenient for both of you, right?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my thought. I do agree with my teacher that camera should be on during the class. But there is some challenges that we students face during the class, online class. I have some friends, and also from my experience, few of them they are shared that camera is mandatory to switch on during the class, but in majority they do not want to switch on. Why? Because there are some limitations that differs from our different geographic location. Along with there are some family privacy that we are not able to switch on the camera. But we can introduce for when we want to discuss class discussion or group discussion. At that time we can switch on the camera. Rather, there is the alternative way that can be the replacement for So there is some alternative way that can be implemented. If you ask me what it is, then I can refer one application, that is Zoom. Zoom is flexible to me because there is a feature called breakout room. For the discussion part, the breakout room help us to discuss the group discussion and another topic in the class lab. And if a teacher divide the groups into breakout rooms, they can easily incorporate with the task and the task management. And also teacher can visit the breakout room when they are really working on the task or not. So that can be the replacement for the switching on the camera. But it is essential and crucial that I also believe, but there are some limitations in our country, that is the lack of internet connection due to the technical error and some geographic location that I have already mentioned. So it can be generalized with our discussion that how it could be implemented. So I think that can be the solution from our students' perspective. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay, so that's very nuanced. It's not a direct answer. And it's like, if this is there, then yes. If this is there, then no. Right? So that is what the student is suggesting. Okay, so now let's go to the next. Should blended learning be limited to students with laptops? Okay, or should we allow students to do blended even in their mobile phone?
Ideally, of course, we will, prefer laptops. But like the previous question, it should be something like that. Some students have bandwidth problem, some family issues who might be not willing to put the camera on. This should be dealt with basically. Okay, so we have these issues. We can do that. Similar way, I think for laptop and the mobile, if it, of course, laptop is the best form of way for attending the classes because it allows you to see other material and open other software and files also. During the exam, we have seen that the students who are using laptop gets the question paper early compared to who are using the mobile phone. There is a time lag. But however, having said that, like you have mentioned, we got to be also sensitive about this equity issue, whether the student can afford the laptop or not. And compared to that, mobile phone also has some benefits because if you are on the move, then mobile phones are portable. You can attend the class instantly. So my answer is ideally laptop, but we got to also look into the things that whether a student can procure the laptop, other challenges that there. Maybe we can discuss about having some provision for maybe we don't know loaning laptop sometimes.
Okay. So, is blended learning really about an equity issue? Should it really be trying to make everybody inclusive? Because maybe blended learning will only work if students have laptop. So if students don't have laptop, then they should not enter into blended learning. If students are in geographic areas that have unreliable internet, then they should not go into blended learning. So, what do you think of that?
I think you're absolutely right in this perspective. Like, if a student from engineering perspective especially, like we do most of the classes we do on mathematical problems, right? So, or let's say we're learning some softwares. So in that case, having a laptop, like it's a mandatory kind of thing, like they should learn it practically. Like when I'm demonstrating a software uses, I would expect my students to practice that simultaneously, right? So from that perspective, I would encourage those students who has access to laptops. So I would encourage them to enroll in blended classes, right? Also like who has moderate connectivity, Wi-Fi connectivity, so that they ensure that they're listening to the whole lectures. So that's really important.
During the online class, laptop or desktop, I want to mention also desktop. So this is important for those students who have already equipped this device. If I have already had a laptop or a desktop, then I should go for the proper use of laptop or desktop. Otherwise, I think it should be flexible for better learning and blended learning purposes. So, mobile phone or tablet can be also the alternative that is already sir mentioned. And I want to share something from sir's statement that they have faced some difficulties during the assessment issue. So, when students attend for the assessment, so they might have tried to copy from other side or try to plagiarize the answer. I want to refer one example, but I'm sorry that I forgot the name, but I can exemplify that area. Teach for Bangladesh is recognized organization that uh, they have invested some instrument, materialistic instrument for their assessment, specifically when they appoint some teachers. They have the primary assessment as a multiple choice question. They used an app. When I enter the website, I cannot skip it without finish the task. If I if I skip during to the assessment, there is a notification that goes to the authority that this person skip for the assessment or try to plagiarize. We can initiate this part, but officially for the institution, it is the matter of policy makers and institutional policy that how it could be introduced. But I think it can be introduced, or it can be the replacement or replaceable site that assessment procedure. But if I talk about the laptop and the use of mobile phone in blended learning, that it should be flexible.
Yeah, okay. So what you're saying is flexible. Mobile and laptop and desktop should be. And for you, laptop and laptop is a must. Okay, so laptop only, right? And for Professor Salwar, during assessment, should only be laptop and desktop. For usual class, can be mobile.
Most of the cases, if the particular student is on the move or have some problem in getting those devices with the prior notification to the teacher, they can have some
Okay, so mobile in special cases. Okay, leads me to the next question. Many teachers are complaining that some students, they cannot focus in online class because they're in the market buying stuff. Sometimes they're in the rickshaw or they're in the bus and they're not in a safe environment. So should we allow students to do blended learning when they are in outside space?
Yes, well, I have also noticed these issues in some of my classes. In order to make these classes, online classes successful, I think we need three things. First one is privacy, no interruptions. Okay, a place where they can attend the classes without any interruptions. Second, whenever that particular device is available, we are talking about laptop. Second, third is internet connection. So if we can ensure these three things, I think we can conduct successful classes. But as you know, these three things can happen mostly at home. When you are home or you in your dorm, where you have this privacy, your device, your notebooks, everything is available to you with the internet connection. So I think wherever we can ensure these three things, that will be a good place for conducting these online classes.
Thank you very much.
Well, from my perspective, I think that if we could develop a classroom dedicated for blended learning, like students will have online class. If they want to attend from the campus, they can just join the class from that specific room. So they can use the projector in a big screen, so they can see the videos, they can watch the lecture, in a let's say it will help them to concentrate in a better way. Or let's say if they're in a dorm or at their room, at their house, because if the students in a crowded place, so definitely it's going to hamper their focus, right? And I think the most challenging part of blended learning is, to keep their attention span for a longest period of time. Like 1 hour 20 minutes is a long time to keep your attention. So if we could manage a blended learning classroom dedicated for them, so they will attend the class from that room, so that would help them, right? So that's my thought.
Well, for this question, I want to share my recent experience in ULAB. So this semester, we have a course titled Technology and Learner Autonomy. So our course teacher designed this course based on technology based. I want to add the previous question that is laptop based. So when he came to the class on the first day, he introduced that we should bear laptop or we should go for the online class because this is the technical based classes. Though I am a student of English or TESOL, but we have some areas that we need to work on the technology. So I have proposed a suggestion that we can take this course or this class in our lab room or the online based. But though I have also the desktop in my home, but from our course teacher's instruction was we have to face-to-face class. We had to be a face-to-face class. So now we are conducting and having this class in lab room. So I can also add this point that we can not only focus on the online classes, rather we can also use our lab dorm that Ma'am already has mentioned, that presentation or a classroom that can be useful for the students to join the online class or the blended class. And I think it can be help to students in developing their technological mind and academic instruments that need to be provided a teacher and to receive a student. So I think that can be such.
Yeah, okay, so I think there's consensus that safe space for student is either in the dorm, home, classroom, okay, or lab. So it means that if a student is in a marketplace or in a bus and they're attending the online class, then the teacher can kick them out. Agree? Right? Okay. So the next, yeah, cannot focus. Okay, now how can we say if a student is ready for blended learning? Okay, what attribute should a student have wherein we can say, okay, this student is ready for blended learning?
I mean, this readiness will depend on preparedness. We can have a survey among the students about how well they are prepared about engaging these related courses. They check on their devices, they check on their connectivity, they check on their mental readiness. For this, we can have some training session for the students about this attending classes on how to use the learning management system, and we can also give them the etiquette for attending online classes. From my experience, I have seen that if I start a class without telling them what are the rules for attending the online classes for the student, they will kind of keeping the camera on and they don't know how to do. But if at the beginning of the term, if we tell them that these are the rules and these are the reasons also why we are doing it, and bring them on board about why we are doing it. And frequently I tell that if you are not putting your camera on and let me put my camera off, then you see how the class goes. They say, no, you put your camera on. So if you want me to put my camera on, then you also take it to that. So this awareness will preparing them is very important, I think, and also to monitor from time to time how. Second thing, talked about Mr. Alcohol teachers also we frequently move to online classes without any preparation. We think that whatever we are delivering in the face-to-face classes, that preparation will allow me to do in the online environment. No. Before the start of the time, we have to take more preparation for online classes before we go to delivery. Third, I would say this indicate or rule for online classes should be uniform. If you are asking the student to put the camera on, others are not doing so, they got fixed up, they got confused. Okay, why you are telling us to put the camera on, other users are not doing it. So this instruction or etiquette should be applicable to both student and teacher and should be uniform across the board.
Okay, so you're giving 3 suggestions. The first one is, like before a student will enroll for a blended learning course, there should be like a questionnaire there. Like, do you have access to internet? Are you using a laptop or desktop? Are you willing to turn your camera on? Are you willing to do the blended learning course in a dorm, in a safe space? Okay, and if they violate that, then there are certain deductions. And then the second point you're saying is that faculty also need to be ready. So it's like before we accept a faculty to deliver a blended learning course, we have questions to the faculty if they can comply. And then once we have a rule, it should be applicable to everyone. Okay, so maybe let's get your thoughts.
So, in fostering blended learning mode, I think the mindset of the students is very important. Like, if they're generally prepared for such teaching methods, right? So, I think the self-learning capacity, that's another very important attribute of a student that we should assess in our survey, that if you are willing to self-study, because in case of blended learning, I'm just giving my lectures, but after that, you have to study yourself. You have to do your part of learning, right? And thereon, you have to be interactive as well. Sometimes, from my experience, I see that I'm asking a question in case of online classes. Many students, they are not responding properly, and later on, they're just saying, ma'am, we had some Wi-Fi issue, therefore we could not respond. And sometimes they're using it as an excuse. So, before starting a blended course, as I mentioned that in our survey, we should ensure that they have that mindset, as well as they have the technical skills that, yes, I am technically prepared, I know all these rules and regulations, so I will attend my class this way. So, the mindset is very important from my perspective.
I do agree with my previous speakers that blended learning should be under the some rules and regulation. I also add in this point that we can integrate our challenges that we have faced during the online class. Before the online class, as ma'am mentioned that there are some technical issues or there are some students that they are not able to conduct how to join a class or how to participate in the group discussion in online class. In this statement, I can explain a story that not exactly a story, but it can be considered. Before joining the online class, we can arrange a training session for students and teachers both. This can be help students and teachers for their autonomous learning and technological use, how to develop materials, how to conduct the class, and how to conduct the interactive and student-centric class. So online class is basically so challenging. I also have experiences. So that's why I can understand teachers' challenges and problems. Before that, I have already mentioned, we can install some activities or course when a fresher came into the university. They can be helped by the facilitator or the organization or a club train them for the blended learning, that how apps should be used during the class, and what can be implemented, how it can be implemented during the blending class. So I think it also can be considered for the training session for the students and teachers that can be held. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we'll flip the question now. What should the behavior of a faculty be in online class?
During the online class, as a student, I prefer teachers' flexible behavior. If I am not doing any blunder, or I am not doing the problem in the class, then he or she can punish me according to the rules and regulations. But as I mentioned in the first question, that teacher can be used breakout room or the discussion. This type of activities I prefer from the faculties because when we attend the online class, continuous lectures, continuous listening, continuous notes is sometimes it's boring, and we cannot pay our attention during the online classes. So in that case, we can do some activities, but it depends on the topics and the subjects, that what should be and what is the topic and how it should be implemented.
So you're saying in online class, teachers should not continuously lecture, right?
Well, I think it should be interactive. So as a faculty member, so I try to practice this in my online classes, that I ask questions. Like if I'm giving lectures for 10 to 15 minutes, so later on I ask questions that, do you understand this? So what's your perspective on this topic? So you share your thought. Like, or if I am sharing some technical concept, then I ask them that, what do you think? What's the application of such concept in real industry? So in that way, it becomes more interactive. Like, I believe that it helps my students to focus more on the lectures.
So teachers should be interactive and apply different types of pedagogy in online.
Yeah, like you said, the entire preparation is different from these classes to online classes. So that's why, the teacher must, before delivering the classes, think about this. Like if I talk about the business courses, there may be a mix of, lecture, problem solving, case study, you take it to the breakout room. All this should be planned. And we all know by this time that this attention span is becoming limited, shorter and shorter. So that's why, giving some break, taking them to the breakout room, and making it interesting and interactive with the key for having success in online classes. So we'll have to do all this, thinking, preparation, using online resources like games, online survey polls. Maybe sometimes we start the lecture with some questions, giving them time to think about it and to react. All these activities should be there to make the online classes.
Okay, so I think that ends our session because we have to end now. Okay, so thank you very much, Professor Sarwar. Thank you very much, Roxana and Emeira. Thank you.